What would I do if I had to completely start over with my trading? Assuming I didn't have any money, assuming I didn't have the experience that I had. What would I do if I had to restart as a trader? A lot of you guys might actually be in this situation yourself, whether you're just a brand new trader or you've been doing it for a little while and you've made some mistakes along the way and now you're back to square one. Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I would actually do as a trader if I were just starting out again and I was to completely go back to the starting point of my trading career. Let's get into it right now. Hey traders, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nick, and on my channel, I talk all about trading and investing, and I try and keep it real. I try and not hype it up and make it something that it's not. To me, trading is a great way to build money that you have into more money over time using steady and kind of consistent methods that are not get-rich-quick schemes, that are not overnight successes. It's more about just growing an account at a slow and steady pace. So today we've got a topic that was requested on my YouTube channel. Someone said, Nick, what would you do if you had to completely start over? If you didn't have much money, what would you do? How would you treat it? So I'm gonna assume that in this case I had like a $100 to $1,000 account. Let's say I had $1,000 because when I started trading, I think my first account was like 500 bucks. So when I had 500 bucks to 1,000 bucks, how was I trading? What was my approach? Well, I could tell you that if I was to start over, there were a lot of things that I would probably not do first before we get into talking about what I would do. So the first things that I would not do, what I would focus very little, if not at all, on the lifestyle and dreams sold to traders around the world. The thing is, if you spend too much time on social media, if you start looking around at all those Forex traders and the people that are showing off their millionaire lifestyle, that doesn't really do you any good. And it definitely did not do me any good, even though now in my situation, I am trading and making part of my income from trading Forex. That stuff did not help. Looking at people who are selling this kind of dream was not helpful. It was very, very distracting because it's almost like that's what you program yourself to think is right around the corner for you, but it's not. That's not, those people didn't get that, overnight, and people who have made a lot of money from trading have done so through years and years of experience. So that's something I wouldn't focus on. Something else I wouldn't focus on is I wouldn't hop from strategy to strategy. I've talked about this on my channel before. It's important not to switch strategies every week. It's important to go through the process of building a successful trading plan, successful trading strategy, back testing it, forward testing it, stress testing it, all the other things that are very, very important in building a successful strategy. And then I would stick to one strategy and master one strategy. On top of that, I would stick to a very select few currency pairs that I like best. Now, you may think differently. You may like different currency pairs than I do. And depending on what strategy you implement in your own trading, you'll want to use different pairs, right? For example, things like oil and gold trade very differently than something like dollar Swiss and Euro USD. A lot of times, each market has its own kind of personality, if you will, just like different members of your family or friends or people in your life. Everybody has their own kind of their way of being, right? And same with currency pairs and same with different charts. The next thing that I would do differently, at least in my journey, is I would spend a lot less time just kind of digesting YouTube content. Now, obviously, I'm a YouTube creator. I create content here about trading and investing, but I don't want to encourage people to just endlessly watch stuff. Really, the thing that's really going to make the difference for you in your own trading journey is to get out there and take the concepts that maybe I talk about or some of these other great channels on YouTube and actually go test them and try them out for yourself. Go see what works for you rather than just listening along endlessly, right? There's nothing wrong with learning. It's definitely good, but there is also the kind of learning and then the acting phase, which is equally, if not more so important than just watching content. So again, those are a couple different things. Now, here's the thing. If I didn't have a lot of capital, this is kind of the big one for a lot of people. It's like, well, Nick, I'm starting to see some consistency. I'm starting to do okay, but I'm not making very much money, and this is not going to be life-changing for me anytime soon. Now, I'm going to tell you how I kind of went through this process and how I actually did it, because that's exactly how I would do it if I were to start over. If I was back to square one, I would do exactly what I am still doing to this day, which is basically diversifying where I make my money. I trade Forex, I invest in stocks, I have some cryptocurrency, and I have some other investments as well that are leading towards my income. I don't have everything in one basket, but I do kind of stick to a select few strategies that I use over and over. So when I'm talking about low capital, to me, this is where things get real. because everybody wants to trade Forex, everybody wants to trade stocks, and they just want to do that for a living right away. The reality is that if you're going to do this for a living, you need capital. It's not something that if you have $100 to $1,000, you can't do this for a living next week. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. For me, what I did was I worked my job for a while. I made decent money at my job, and eventually I personally started a business which continues to contribute to my trading accounts month after month. But if I did not have a business that I started and I didn't have an interest in starting a business, what I would do would be stick to my job. I would stick to what I was doing for income, and I would take as much money that I didn't need to use on my living, and I would take that money and invest it into something like my strategies, my investments, whatever it is, because again, it takes money to make money, and the more capital that you have to work with, the more likely that you're going to make consistent actual amounts of money that are going to be helpful to you. Right? It's very, very important to understand that trading is kind of a percentage game. The more money that you have to work with, the less percentage you need to make in order to make a full-time living. But if you're out there trying to make big money off of a small account, it's going to be very, very stressful because you'll have to maintain a very, very high level of performance all the time just to keep going. Right? The more money that you have in an account, the better. And so in my strategy to this day, what I continue to do is take money that I'm earning elsewhere, invest it into my trading and investing account, and to continue to compound those gains year over year, month after month. Right? And that's really the power of trading, is it's not a way to make a bunch of quick money overnight. It's a way to take money that you're making in other places and make it work for you. If you just took money and you just stick it in the bank, in the US, now you're getting like nothing. You're getting interest rates being so low, you're getting like nothing for keeping your money in the bank. So instead, maybe the best approach is to find a strategy, find an investment kind of plan that works for you, that allows you to build your capital at a better rate and to eventually work towards doing this for a full-time living. It's not going to be 1 month. It's probably not even going to be 1 year. For me, it took multiple years. And to this day, I don't trade exclusively for a living. You're watching my YouTube channel. I make money here. I make money from my different services and softwares that we sell at A1 Trading. And I use that money and I put it back into my trading and investing and continue to compound. So that's how I would start over, is I would start to build other sources of income. I used to cut grass. I used to buy and sell things off of eBay and Craigslist, right? And so I would find other ways to make money, compound and build that money in my trading accounts and let it grow there as well. So it's not just you take $100 and a year later you're living off of it, right? That's not how I went from a beginner trader to trading as part of my living and then doing other things for my living. I do multiple things, multiple sources of income, and I use trading and investing to compound those gains, and that's how I would do it over if I started back at square one. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you back next time.